Welcome to a different camera angle. You get to see my face while I'm driving now. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I like to spoil you, don't I? Any case, so as you may or may not have noticed, if you follow my channel for a while, you've noticed there has definitely been a shift in what I am now covering and talking about on the channel. Hence why the channel was originally has been rechristened. I know for the umpteenth time, but it's staying now as Gobster talks about things, because I don't want to be talking about just one particular subject anymore. I've covered this in other videos. I'm not going to go rehash and go over that again. But there's definitely been a shift in what I talk about, what I'm covering and what I'm saying. And as I just said in the last live stream I did, we're at a crossroads, because we are. I've been sort of preoccupying myself and talking about, you know, Doctor Who and all this sort of stuff, and all the things that you have to talk about and get interested, you know, and all the things that I'm used to be, you know, usually interested in. But I've always had an inkling towards politics, because I find politics most fascinating, and also, to be fair, completely terrifying, because it can be, because that's the way it works. But in the last few months, it's got to a stage where I can't ignore what's happening anymore. I can't not say anything about the state of this country anymore. Now, I will talk about, and I have been talking about, you know, politics and world politics, but the simple truth of the matter is, when it all boils down to it, is when it comes down to it, so I'm sort of thinking, because the one thing you'll learn, and I've never ever done it, and I probably never will do it either, is I've never ever done a scripted video, ever. Everything that I've done, everything comments I've said, everything I've said, done, whatever, has all just been at the top of this grey matter. No script, maybe a vague idea of what I want to be talking about, but that's about it. So sometimes I, you know, go off on tangents. Other times I find myself checking myself mid-sentence, and as I said in the live stream at Crossroads, it is horrible now that we live in such a state of things that I have to, and a lot of us do, have to seriously stop and think about what we're saying and how we're saying it, because that's the shit world that we live in. And it's sort of, I mean, some people say, I mean, I know Julie Hartley-Brewer on GB News, who are a bitter disappointment, should have known better, really, that and they were never going to be anything other than the mainstream media. You know, they say a few things now and again, and since they got rid of some decent people off there, yeah, it's not much better than anywhere else. But she said that, you know, the country walked into the situation, and of course that's just absolute bull. I'm even going to try and not swear on this one, because I shouldn't really, because that won't help. But any case, it's just bull, absolute utter bull. We haven't walked into this situation for the last 40-50 years. There have been many people trying to tell you, give you warnings about this, and it will go all the way back to whatever the fuck his name is, Enoch Powell. Jesus God, I'm getting old. Enoch Powell, I would say, would be the very first known person to signify and signal that there was a potential problem on the horizon. And of course, well, everybody knows how, and he still does now. My friend Dave Tomo was doing a gig one day, and he spoke about him, and he got kicked out because you're not allowed to even utter his name still, even though what he said still rings true. He was just too far ahead of his time, and perhaps if people had started to listen to him, perhaps things wouldn't be where they are now. And as I said before, you know, we've got called right-wing, we've been called racist, we've been called xenophobes, we've been called everything under the sun. Yeah, we're all been told that we're crazy conspiracy theorists and, you know, this, that and the other. Yeah, surprise, surprise, here we are. Here we are, sat at this junction, sat in the state that we're in. where the country is just falling apart, and it breaks my heart. Now we'll go over, it wasn't last night, it was the night before. Was it the night before? God, time spent, I mean, it wasn't until midstream I realised it was Friday today. Completely forgot. The debacle in the House of Commons, they're still going to have it, and Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House, who well, I would say for some unknown reason, but we all know the reason why, who actually broke parliamentary law. Not, you know, the rules, broke the law in doing what he did on that night, on that fateful night. But he's fine, he's going to walk away from it, get out of jail free card. Only 60 MPs have said they're disgusted, because the rest of them are just going, well, we can't stitch him up as well because he's one of ours. Because let's be brutally honest, when it all comes to them, they look after themselves. And that's all that thing that happened in Parliament was all about. It was them showing their true colours, that they actually don't give a shit about you or I. What they actually give a shit about is themselves. And it was all about self-preservation, especially for the Labour Party. Because the Labour Party are fearful that because the Muslims have a tendency to block votes, and they do. If a near man tells them to vote one way, they all vote that way, and they don't question. Which is why, you know, the World Economic Forum wants Muslims to be everywhere, because they're good, obedient little citizens who do as they're told. And that's why they hate the English so much, and that's why they hate the Americans so much. They hate both races, because we have a history of not really doing as we're told, and in fact fucking angrily against it. So Lindsay Hoyle came out and said, oh, I made a mistake, and everybody's going, oh yeah, of course she did. I didn't mean it was in the best intentions to protect our MPs from the far right. Extremists. But then blamed the far right. Now, I don't remember any far right people doing a march every Saturday and Sunday through London, waving terrorist flags. I don't remember any far right organisation portraying and projecting hate messages, or actually calls for genocide, on the side of Parliament buildings. I don't remember any far right groups finding out where their MPs live and standing outside and terrorising them. I haven't seen any far right groups gathering outside a school in Batley and terrorising a teacher there so much that the poor bugger and his family are still in hiding. The far right have actually done nothing other than say, please wake up, we're in trouble. I mean, that's the be all and end all of it. The far right are a bunch of people. I mean, let's remember, far rights, I mean, you can be centre left and still be far right because you don't agree with that tiny minority of voices. So somehow a vote that was skewed by the terror-based, hate-based violence mob outside, somehow, of the Free Plasticine movement, somehow, and I still don't know how, got blamed on the far right. I genuinely don't know how that happened. But then again, I do, because it's easier to blame the far right than to actually blame the actual people, because we still have to pander. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're bending the knee to Islamists. Now, on a live stream I played the clip of Margaret Thatcher talking about this 2 days after the Brighton bombing, which almost claimed her life. Because the IRA did the same as Islam does. And Islam basically says, agree with me, because if you don't, I'm going to threaten you. And if the threat doesn't work, I am going to meet violence upon you and kill you. And I'm ever so sorry that, you know, MPs are terrified, apparently, of right-wing people, even though it's the Muslims, because they finally, now, because it's on their doorstep, and it's finally toe-to-toe with them, yeah? They realise how shit things are, but instead, even then, we'll spin it and try and blame the far right. Ignore the Bing. It's my car telling me it's below 40 degrees out here in the UK. So to save their own skins, our entire bunch of treasonable traitors, and they are, collectively threw the British public under the bus. They threw us under the bus and made us and betrayed us. just to save their own slimy, dirty, treacherous, lying skin. Now, if you're sitting there nodding at this video going, oh yeah, you're right, yeah, he's right, stop nodding. Do something, say something, for God's sake, fucking speak up. We need as many voices talking now as possible. Because as my live stream said, we are at a crossroads, and if we don't get it sorted out very soon, everything you thought was good will be gone. In any case, I'm here to pick up the wife now. I'm going to bring this one to a close. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to like and especially share. Make sure everybody knows they're not alone. You're not alone. If you think like I think, and you want to, you know, and you hear what I'm saying is right, and you agree, and you know other people are there, share it. Please get it out there. Please get it out there. If you would love to subscribe to my channel, that'd be much appreciated. That's up to you, of course. Whenever you catch up with this video, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon or evening. And with that, and as always, and until the next one, as the rain begins to come down and I look forward to a shopping trip at Asda with my wife, please may God have mercy upon my soul. I am gonna love you and leave you.